The sun explosion sent shockwaves to the edge of our solar system 22 years ago today, and this is a SOHO image of it, of an X5.7 class Bastille Day solar flare, left CME on right, and the image is results of energetic protons hitting the spacecraft. Bastille Day event, according to space weather. We know a solar flare is strong even when the Voyager spacecraft feels it. 22 years ago today, July 14, 2000, the sun exploded with so much force it sent shockwaves to the edge of our solar system. The Earth was on the doorstep of the blast, nicknamed the Bastille Day event because it happened on the National Day of France. Subatomic particles accelerated by the flare peppered satellites and penetrated deep into the Earth's atmosphere. Radiation sensors on Earth's surface registered a rare GLE, that's a ground level event. People flying in commercial jets at high altitudes would have received double their usual radiation dose, says Clive Dyer of the University of Surrey Space Centre in Guildford, UK, who studies extreme space weather. He says it was quite an energetic event, one of the strongest of the past 20 years. A day later, the CME arrived, and an impact on July 15 sparked an extreme KP9 geomagnetic storm. The sun had just set on the east coast of North America when the auroras appeared. I was out in the yard doing chores and saw bright red auroras overhead, recalls Hugh Hine of Caswell County, North Carolina, saying, I called over to our neighbor Carrie, who was also outside. I told her those were not sunset colors. It was an aurora, a super rare to see this far south. In New York, the sky exploded with light, recalls Lou Michael Moore, saying, I was living on Long Island at the time. A family member came running into my room, begging me to come outside to see the sky on fire, quote unquote. The sky truly looked as if it was ablaze. Hues of white and green eventually gave way to reds that blanketed the heavens from horizon to horizon. By the time the storm subsided on July 16th, the auroras had been reported as far south as Texas, Florida, and Mexico. And a few other storms of the space age have been equally strong, but the Bastille Day event is an event special to researchers. It was the first major solar storm after 1995 launch of SOHO, the Solar Heliospheric Observatory, and data from the young satellite taught researchers a lot very quickly about the physics of extreme flares. Tibor Torok of Predictive Science is one of the many researchers still studying that event decades later. The event took place close to a disk center, so we have great view of the action, he says. Torok recently applied a modern magnetohydrodynamic MHD computer model to some of the data and found that 10 to the 33 ergs of magnetic energy were released in that explosion, about the same as 1,000 billion World War II atomic bombs. So no wonder the Voyager felt it. It took the Bastille Day CME months to reach the distant spacecraft, 180 days to Voyager 2 and 245 days to Voyager 1. Being near the edge of the solar system, both spacecraft were naturally bathed in high levels of cosmic radiation. The CME swept aside that ambient radiation, created a temporary reduction called the Furbush decrease. Conditions returned to normal 3 to 4 months later, and finally the storm was over. Could another Bastille Day event be in the offing? Solar cycle 25 is ramping up with a new solar maximum expected in 2025, so we have to stay tuned. I'll leave a link below for you for this on space weather today. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.